So hello everybody and welcome back to Law Hero. My name is Jen and this evening, well, it could be any time of the day really where you are, we are going to talk about psychometric testing. I really do consider myself an expert in psychometric testing, having gone through heaps of interviews in the last few months where many of them had psychometric tests in them, and I spent, I think it was either 30, I think in total 36 hours studying. Is crazy, just so I could pass these. Now, I probably didn't need to study so much, but yeah, I get a bit nervous that I'm going to be like a failure, I suppose. So that's why I did so much. But thankfully, I have so much knowledge now to impart on you guys when you go for your psychometric testing. Okay, so the very first thing you do when you're told you're going to get a psychometric test, ask who the provider is. So there could be like CCAT or SHL. They're the ones I provide on my website. The questions and solutions I provide on my website. So usually for lawyers, there's going to be a literary passage, and these are passages which are factual. And it's a bit like your Leif Tishkent in the Leaving Cert, or your in your Irish paper 1 or your English paper 1, whereby you're given a passage that you've never ever seen before. And the whole crux of the matter is that you don't bring in external knowledge to this niche paragraph you have in front of you. So for example, if it was a paragraph about basketball and you know everything about basketball and you disagree with something you see in the paragraph, that would be the complete wrong way to go about it. I read somewhere, and this is a really good way of describing these paragraphs, that they are their own environment or microsystem, and everything you know about that subject, or your opinions or your feelings or emotions, are irrelevant. You answer questions based on the text that's in front of you with true, false, or cannot say, okay? For some of the psychometric testing, you have about 1 minute to answer the questions on each paragraph. The most important thing is that you don't make any assumptions. If you cannot say yes or no from the facts that are in front of you, the answer is cannot say. If either explicitly or implicitly the facts are negative, that is false, and obviously a positive assertment, a statement relating to a fact is true. Now I'll give you an example, and I will put it up on the screen and go through it with you. Okay, so this is the first one we're going to look at. This is the paragraph. Although it was discovered in the 19th century that birds were closely related to dinosaurs, the current scientific consensus is that birds were, and always have been, dinosaurs themselves. Fossil evidence demonstrates similarities between birds and other feathered dinosaurs, including hollow bones, nest building, and similar brooding behaviours. Although the dinosaurian lineage of birds is largely undisputed, the evolution of powered flight in birds is still debated. Two theories of flight in birds are the ground-up theory and the trees-down theory. Ground-up theorists suggest birds evolved powered flight from ground-dwelling dinosaurs, and trees-down theorists suggest birds evolved from tree-dwelling gliding dinosaurs. Further research is required to conclusively verify the process in which birds evolved powered flight. Okay, everybody. So I'm after giving you the paragraph. Now I'm going to ask you some questions. And the first question is as follows. The ground up and trees down theories are the only theories explaining flight in birds. Now, we cannot say that that is either true or false because we are not told that in the paragraph. We are told of two of the theories, but there is no conclusive evidence that these are the only theories, therefore we cannot say. All dinosaurs had hollow bones. Again, we know from the paragraph that some dinosaurs had hollow bones, but we cannot say conclusively that all dinosaurs had hollow bones. 3. There is no scientific consensus regarding how birds evolved powered flight. This is true because we're told in the passage that further research is required to conclusively verify the process in which birds evolved powered flight. Similarly, it states that the evolution of powered flight in birds is still debated. So therefore, we can say from the passage that that is indeed true. Okay, one more. The dinosaurian origins of birds is widely rejected. We can say this is wholeheartedly false because we're told that the dinosaurian origins of birds is largely undisputed and is therefore the antithesis of being widely rejected. Okay, so therefore, from what we have just said, it seems easy when I go through an example like that with you. Test. Okay, so these are my personal tips that I made for myself when I scored. My scores were between 70, they were always 78% plus. Sometimes I even got 90, so that's like 9 out of 10 questions right. So my verbal reasoning was really, really good, obviously because I'm a lawyer, but my numerical was really bad, and I'm going to do it was really bad at the start, but then I got the hang of it, and I'm going to make another video on numerical reasoning, so just stay tuned. Okay, so these are my tips. So take the passage literally, it's its own ecosystem, and base your reasoning on what you see in the passage and nothing else. I've already said that. Don't make any assumptions. Don't get panicked by time either, because you'll see the little clock clicking down. Don't be panicked by that. If you're really stumped, read the sentence backwards. Now, I didn't really have to do this myself, but sometimes, you know, when you have a really long sentence and there's a comma in between, sometimes read the second part first before you read the first part. Read the paragraph the first time kind of fast and then read it the second time slowly. That's kind of what I did. Ask yourself, can you stand by every answer, as in every true, false, cannot say? Could you actually stand by it if someone was to ask you? Don't let your knowledge outside the passage influence your answer. Be careful when it comes to numbers. If it definitely does not say how many, then the answer is cannot say. If an opinion is held by some rather than a fact, also you cannot say, because it's not unanimous. So just remember, true means a statement is logical from the passage, like it's a logical assumption. False is the opposite, it's a logically false assumption or answer given the information provided. And cannot say is you need more information, essentially. Read every word carefully. You've more time than you think. Look out for words like most commonly, unanimously, all that kind of thing, because they're trying to trick you out. And really, you know, if you feel like you're answering cannot say a lot, don't worry, because humans love certainty, and it's really difficult for humans to respond with cannot say, because we're so used to being definitive in our answers. So we want to say true or false, but sometimes there actually might be a lot of cannot says when you do the test. So yeah, best to look with your verbal reasoning test if you're doing it. I have a whole heap of verbal reasoning solutions and problems on my website. Please go and get them if you want them. They're pretty cheap as well. And yeah, I had lots of fun filming this video, and see you in the next one.